Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Okay, so we're here once again. Okay, I think because I complained about being up so late that one time now, I'm chronically up late now. So that's what I get for complaining. Look at karma, look at the universe. So we are here for Fairytale Friday. You know who's to blame? I'm to blame for today being so late because I decided to go shopping. I decided to go. Scott is over there nodding. And not just any shopping, outlet shopping. So I had to go into the outskirts. And then when I came back, there was traffic. There was work traffic. So what am I to do but sit in the work traffic? So it got late. Scott's harassing the cat. So that's what you hear. He's very vocal. And Scott's harassing him. And in a minute, you're going to hear ouch. And that's going to be Scott getting clawed up by the cat. So just, check it, set your watches. So anyway, did he just call you?
No, begging for attention.
Anyway, so we are here late Friday night with our fairy tale. I got a new book. I got the Grimm fairy tale book. Some of these stories may be repeated, but that's called a remix, baby. Okay, it's a new day, so it's a new remix. Period. And it'll probably be a new formula because I just make this up as I go. So anyway, let's get this party started. We're gonna get this candle with this cute little topper because we're gonna be in the woods, baby, because we got Hansel and Gretel. Scott, do you know this fairy tale?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna do this Hansel and Gretel thing. So we're gonna light this candle and we're gonna go in the woods. Ooh la 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 la. It just happened. Boom, we in the woods, baby. Look, we in the woods. Scott, I know Umi's in the woods. We can hear him. He's yelling to get out. Okay, so we got the story of Hansel and Gretel. Okay. Near a great forest, there lived a poor woodcutter. Oh, before we get started, I forgot to show y'all the newest member of our family. This looks just like Scott's dog. I saw it while I was out and I got it. This is Oreo Jr. Scott, who is this?
Oreo Jr. I guess. I don't know what happened to Oreo Jr., but
none of that matters. Umi even said hi. This is Oreo Jr. Period. Y'all say hi in the comments to Oreo Jr. This does look like his actual dog. One day we may show him. He's a little mentally ill, so we keep him locked up because he crazy. So anyway, Oreo Jr. Scott.
Okay.
Y'all. Okay, now we can get to the story. Now that we have Oreo Jr. here. And Umi, of course. We'll hear him yelling throughout because that's Umi. See, there he is. Okay, so pretend like you're in the jungle. Near a great forest, there lived a poor woodcutter and his wife and his two children. The boy's name was Hansel and the girl Gretel. Okay, Scott, leave him alone. They had very little to bite or to sup. And once, when there was a great dearth in the land, girl, I guess that's a plague, or I don't know. The man could not even gain the daily bread. As he lay in bed one night, thinking of this and tossing and turning, he sighed heavily and said to his wife, "What will become of us? We cannot even feed our children. There is nothing left for ourselves." Okay, let's go through this real quick. Umi, nobody's talking to you. Let's go through this real quick. There is a song by Michael Jackson. It's called "Wanna Be Starting Something." And if they had listened to him, and I know this probably predates Michael, but let's pretend like it doesn't. If they had listened to Michael when he said, "If you can't feed your baby," you supposed to say, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's start over. If you can't feed your baby,
Yeah.
then don't have a baby.
Yeah.
And don't think that maybe
Yeah.
if you can't feed your baby, that is what Michael said. So why we can't listen to Michael? And if you can't afford it, don't do it. Just don't do it. And I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I'm just saying like they shouldn't have did it because now they over here like we can't feed these kids. I will tell you what husband answered the wife. We will take the children early in the morning into the forest where it is the thickest. We will make them a fire and we will give each of them a piece of bread. Then we will go to our work and leave them alone. So y'all just abandoning children? I'm gonna tell them about that one thing. Do y'all know back in the day, like it was like I think they ended it like 2010 or something like that. You could take your children to Nebraska and just drop them off. It didn't matter what age it was, none of that. And like at one point, people were just dropping off like they're 17-year-olds. It was just like we can't take these teenagers. Oh my God. And so they had to like cut it off. But right before like the cutoff date, people were just like mass dropping off kids. Like, I feel like this is that. Look that up. It was something in Nebraska where you could just drop your kids off. And people like were rolling from like far, far away, like New Mexico. Just like, oh no, let's hurry up and get these kids to Nebraska. People from California, like look it up. It was crazy. I was like, oh my. I feel like this is that. Stop, Scott. Scott keeps irritating the cat. Anyway, they should have listened to Wanna Be Starting Something with Michael Jackson. No, wife, said the man, I cannot do that. I cannot find in my heart to take my children into the forest and leave them there alone. The wild animals would soon come and devour them. Yeah, I mean, girl, you heartless. Girl, you are supposed to be on an episode of Deadly Women. Oh, you fool, she said. Then we all four will starve. You had better get the coffins ready. And she left him no peace until he consented. So she just said, she kept going like, no, we gonna drop them kids off. We dropping them kids off in the woods. Scott, we dropping the kids off.
All right.
We dropping this dog off in the woods.
Talk about
Oreo Jr., huh?
Good old days.
Don't listen to Scott, y'all. Do listen to Michael Jackson, though. Keep him. Look, want to be sorry or something? He was dropping gems, honey. Anyway. But I really pity the poor children, said the man. The two children had not been able to sleep for hunger. That's so sad. And had heard what the stepmother had said to their father. Gretel wept bitterly and said to Hansel, it is all over with us. Girl, y'all better start plotting and planning against these people. Do be quiet, Gretel, said Hansel. Ooh, who's Hanson? Well, we do need, what's his name?
Chris Hansen.
We need Chris Hansen to come intervene. They ain't touching the children, but they doing something wrong to the children. So someone needs to intervene. These people have not listened to Michael Jackson. Anyway. Umi, no one asked you.
Must be bad.
This is why I don't do things late at night. The freaks come out at night. Anyway. And when the parents had gone to sleep, he got up, put on his little coat, opened the back door, and slipped out. The moon was shining brightly, and the white flint that lay in front of the house glistened like pieces of silver. This little kid is smart. Hansel scooped and filled a little pocket of his coat as full as it could hold. Then he went back again and said to Gretel, be easy, dear sister, and go to sleep quietly. God will not forsake us. And laid himself down again in his bed. See, Umi just said, Umi just cried out in the spirit, I think. I don't know. He's a weirdo. Who knows? When the day was breaking and before the sun had risen, the wife came and awakened the two children, saying, get your lazy bones up. We are going into the forest to cut wood. Why all y'all got to go to cut wood? Why the kids got to go? They sound rather young. Then she gave each of them a piece of bread and said, "This is for dinner, and you must not eat it before then, for you will get no more." Gretel carried the bread upon her apron, and Hansel in his pockets had his pockets, or I'm sorry, for Hansel had his pockets full of flints. Okay, he was smart. Then they set off all together on their way to the forest. When they had gone a little way, Hansel stood still and looked back towards the house. And this he did again and again till his father said to him, "Hansel, what are you looking at? Take care not to forget your legs." That's an interesting way to put it. Take care not to forget your legs, Scott. What does that mean?
I don't know.
"Oh, father," said Hansel, "I am looking at my white little kitten who is sitting up on the roof to bid me goodbye." It's Oreo Jr.
So the cat gets to stay?
Scott, the cat can go out there and fend for itself. It's probably bringing food home for him. Like our cats bring crickets. They could have ate crickets. There are some countries that eat crickets. Didn't you say the cat had 2 salamanders in the house?
Mm-hmm.
They could have ate salamander. They probably want to keep the cat. "To bid me goodbye." "You young fool," said the woman, "that is not your kitten, but the sunshine on the chimney pot." Of course, Hansel had not been looking at his kitten, but had been taking every now and then a flint from his pocket and dropping it on the road. This is a smart kid here. He be thinking ahead. He got that foresight. When they reached the middle of the forest, the father told the children to collect wood to make fire and keep them warm. Hansel and Gretel gathered brushwood enough for a little mountain, and it was set on fire. And when the flames were burning quite high, the wife said, "Now, lie down by the fire and rest yourself, you children, and we will go and cut wood. And when we are ready, we will come and fetch you." You're a liar, ma'am. You're disgusting, ma'am. By the way, just in my opinion. I don't know what you're thinking, Scott. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but that's my opinion of her. So Hansel and Gretel sat by the fire, and at noon they each ate their pieces of bread. That's y'all dinner for the day. Y'all should have split that. Y'all gonna be hungry later.
Dinner for your life.
Dinner for your life. They thought that their father was in the woods the whole time, and as they seemed to hear the strokes of the axe, but it was really only a dry branch hanging to a withered tree that the wind moved to and fro. Did they set it up like that, or were they just lucky? So when they had stayed there a long time, their eyelids closed with weariness, and they fell fast asleep. When at last they woke at night, and Gretel began to cry and said, "How should we ever get out of this woods?" But Hansel comforted her, saying, "Girl, I got this." Now he said, "Wait a little while longer until the moon rises, and then we can easily find a way home." He even knew the moon thing, because look, let me tell you, I wouldn't know if the full moon was out or not. We might have to wait a couple of days for the moon to do its thing with me. So this kid is really smart. Just saying. Scott, do you know the moon cycles?
Well, get a full moon once a month.
Scott don't know the moon cycles. We would be still stuck in the woods, possibly, maybe with Scott, definitely with me. And when the full moon got up, Hansel took his little sister by the hand and followed the way there. The flintstone shone like silver and showed them the road. They walked on the whole night through, and at the break of day, they came to their father's house, period. They knocked on the door. They like, yeah, you tried to take us to Nebraska. AKA, you tried to drop us off in the woods. And we don't get down like that, bruh. 4 in, 4 out. 4 in, 4 out. What? It's serious. And when the wife opened it and saw that it was Hansel and Gretel, she said, "Look at this little lying heifer. Listen, watch this lie. Let me take a little drink. You naughty children. Why did you sleep so long in the woods? Because you didn't wake us up, ma'am, because you were busy trying to sneak off because you ain't got no food. Like Michael Jackson told you shouldn't have had no damn kids, even though it's the man's kids, because she the stepmama." We thought you were never coming home. That was the point, ma'am. Scott, that was the point.
Mm-hmm.
But the man was glad, for it had gone to his heart to leave them both in the woods alone. Not very long after that, there was again great scarcity in those parts. And the children heard their mom say at night in bed to their father, so this is just an ongoing conversation. It's like, we got to abandon these children. They're the weakest link. Everything is finished up, and we have only half a loaf, and after that, the tale comes to an end. The children must be off. We will take them further into the woods this time so that they shall not be able to find their way home again. There is no other way to manage. Okay, girl. The man felt sad at heart, and he thought, "Sir, why don't you just stand up for the children? Like, at some point, can we just tell her to shut up?" Scott, what do you think?
Well, she's obviously very good at something.
Oh my God. Okay, so we're not listening to Scott. It would be better to share one's last morsel with one's children, period. Okay, he's doing it. He's doing it. But the wife would listen to nothing that he said, but scolded and reproached him. She reproached him, Scott. She said no. So whatever she was good at, she was done being good at until he listened.
And what's he gonna do?
Okay. This is why we don't ask God anything. He who says A must say B too. And when a man has given in once, he has to do it a second time. Okay, I get it. But the children were not asleep and had heard all the talk. When the parents had gone to sleep, Hansel got up to go out and get more flintstones, as he did before. But the wife had locked the door, and Hansel could not get out. But he comforted his little sister and said, "Don't cry, girl. Don't cry, Gretel. And go to sleep quietly, and God will help us." Oh, he has to be like a little grown up. Early the next morning, the wife came and pulled the children out of bed. She gave them each a piece of bread, less than before, and on the way to the wood, Hansel crumbled the bread in his pocket and often stopped to throw crumbs on the ground, period. He's smart. This is smart kid here. "Hansel, what are you stopping behind and staring for?" said his father. "I am looking at the little pigeon sitting on the roof to say goodbye to me," answered Hansel. He got good at creativity. "You fool," said the wife. "There is no pigeon, but the morning sun shining on the chimney pot." Oh, I got to stop doing my commentary this long. I'm ready to get into bed. So is Scott. Hansel went on as before and strewed breadcrumbs all along the road. The woman led the children far into the woods where they had never been before in all their lives. She said, "Y'all ain't coming back." I said, "We starving, but it's just going to be us together till I gut him up or sell him off or whatever I'm going to do because I'm evil. Period." And again, there was a large fire made, and the mother said, "Sit there, you children, and when you are tired, you can go to sleep. We are going into the forest to cut wood like the last time and abandon you. I'm kidding. To cut wood, and in the evening, when we are ready to go home, we will come and fetch you. So when noon came, Gretel shared her bread with Hansel, who had strewn his along the road. That's so sad. And then they went to sleep, and the evening passed, and no one came for the poor children. When they awoke, it was dark night. Hansel comforted his sister and said, "Wait a little, Gretel. When the moon gets up, then we shall be able to see our way home by the crumbs of bread that I have scattered along it." Uh-oh, Scott is shaking his head. No. Foreshadowing. So when the moon rose, they got up, but they could find no crumbs of bread, for the birds of the woods and the field had come and picked them up. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. That is what would happen. Hansel thought they might find the way all the same, but they could not. They went all that night and the next day from the morning until the evening, but they could not find the way out the woods, and they were hungry, for they had nothing to eat but the few berries they could pick. That's so sad. And when they were so tired that they could no longer drag themselves along, they lay down under a tree and fell asleep. It was now the third morning since they had left their father's house. That is just horrible. That's so sad. This is like a sad story. Oh my God. Okay. They were always trying to get back to it, but instead of that, they only found themselves further in the woods. And if help had not soon come, they would have been starved. Oh, that's sad. About noon, they saw a pretty snow white bird sitting on a burrow and singing so sweetly that they stopped to listen. And when he had finished, the bird spread his wings and flew before them, and they followed after him until they came to a little house. And the bird perched on the roof. And when they had come nearer, they saw that the house was built of bread. Girl, this is a mirage. Because this don't never happen. And I can see food out of nowhere, honey. I can just manifest some food out of nowhere. Some of the craziest stuff. And I've never seen a house made out of bread. Wouldn't the birds eat it like they ate them breadcrumbs? What say you, Scott?
Yeah, you would think.
And roofed with cakes.
Nice.
Okay. And the window of a transparent sugar. Period. Where is this house at? I want that house. We will have some of this, said Hansel, and make a fine meal. I will eat a piece of the roof. Gretel, you can have some of the windows. That will taste sweet. Y'all gonna have cavities and a bellyache. So Hansel reached up and broke off a bit of the roof just to see how it tasted. And Gretel stood by the window and gnawed at it. Then they heard a thin voice call from inside, "Nibble, nibble like a mouse who is nibbling at my house." This a rapper. The children answered, "Never mind, it's the wind." And they went on eating, never disturbing themselves. Hansel, who found the roof tasted very nice, took down a great piece of it. And Gretel pulled out a large round window pane and set her down and began upon it. Then the door opened and an aged woman came out. Don't do it, y'all. Y'all better run. Leaning upon a crutch. Hansel and Gretel felt very frightened and let fall what they had in their hands. Because y'all eat somebody's house. You can't do that. The old woman, however, nodded her head and said, "Ah, my children, how come you here? You must come indoors and stay with me. You will be no trouble," because she gonna eat you. This is Jeffrey Dahmer. Before Jeffrey Dahmer. She took them each by the hand and led them into her little house. And there they found a great meal laid out of milk and pancakes with sugar and apples and nuts. After that, she showed them 2 little white beds. Oh, isn't this hospitable? And Hansel and Gretel laid themselves down on them, and they thought they were in heaven. Y'all about to be for real. The old woman, although her behavior was so kind, was a wicked witch who lay in wait for children. How many parents are just dropping their kids off in the woods? Okay. The woods was like Nebraska before Nebraska, period. Okay. Period. And had built the little house on purpose to entice them. When they were once inside, she used to unalive them, cook them, and eat them. I told you she was Jeffrey Dahmer, honey. Before Jeffrey Dahmer came around, there was this chick here. This lady, she was doing the most to the children. And then it was a feast day with her. The witch's eyes were red, and she could not see very far. But she had a keen scent like a beast and knew very well when human creatures were near. Okay, girl, she called them human creatures. When she knew that Hansel and Gretel were coming, she gave a spiteful laugh and said triumphantly, I have them, and they shall not escape me, because their parents neglected them. Not the neglected part, but everything before that. Early in the morning, before the children were awake, she got up and looked at them. And as they lay sleeping so peacefully with their round rosy cheeks, she said to herself, what a fine feast I shall have. That you looking at children and that's what you're thinking about, ma'am? I wish there were therapists. Does it sound like you need one? Anyway. Then she grasped Hansel with her withered hands and led him into a little stable and shut him up behind a grating. And call and scream as he might, it was no good. Yeah, ain't nobody to help you. You in the woods with this crazy old lady who's trying to eat children. With a bread house with a cake roof and some sugar pane windows. If she had been in like the 80s, 90s, she would have just had a man. Remember? Roll around in vans and kidnap children. Anyway. Then she went back to Gretel and she shook her, crying, get up, lazy bones. What is with people calling these children lazy bones? Fetch water and cook something nice for your brother. He is outside in the stable and must be fattened up. And when he is fat enough, I will eat him. Well, she's honest. Gretel began to weep bitterly, but it was of no use. She had to do what the wicked witch bade her. And so the best kind of victuals was cooked for poor Hansel, while Gretchen got nothing but crab shells. Ugh. Each morning, the old woman visited the little stable and cried, Hansel, scratch out your finger that I might tell if you will soon be fat enough. Hansel, however, used to hold a little bone, and the old woman, who had weak eyes, could not see what it was and supposed it to be Hansel's finger. Wondered very much that it was not getting fatter. This little boy is smart. This little boy is smart. I wouldn't have thought of that. Even at my age, I would have been like, oh my God, this woman is Jeffrey Dahmer and she's going to eat me. Let me call Scott. I need help.
All right, I'm on my way.
Period. Thank you, Scott. Hansel, oh wait, I already read that. When 4 weeks had passed and Hansel seemed to remain so thin, she lost her patience and could wait no longer. She said, I gotta have this human meat, baby. I gotta have it. Now then, Gretel, cried, she said to the little girl, be quick and draw water. Be Hansel fat or be he lean. Tomorrow I will unalive and cook him. Oh, what a grief for the poor little sister to fetch water, and how the tears flowed down over her cheeks. Dear God, pray help us, she cried. If we had been devoured by wild beasts in the woods, at least we should have unalived together. Oh, that's a deep thought for a child. Spare me your lamentations, said the old woman. They are of no avail. I feel like she has a different voice, but I don't feel like trying to imagine that. Early next morning, Gretel had to get up, make fire, and fill the kettle. First, we will do the baking, said the old woman. I have heated the oven already and kneaded the dough. She pushed poor Gretel towards the oven, out of which the flames were already shining. Creep in, said the witch, and see if it is so properly hot, so that my bread may bake. Girl, I'm not getting up in no stove, girl. Girl, put the bread in there and see if it bakes. Would be my answer. Like, no. Like, it's just a firm no. Like, what are you gonna do? No. At this point, she can't even see. And Gretel, once in, she meant to shut the door upon her and let her be baked, and then she would have eaten her. But Gretel perceived her intention and said, I don't know how to do this. How shall I get in? Stupid goose, said the old woman. The opening is so big enough, is big enough. Do you see? I could get in myself. And she stooped down and put her head in the mouth of the oven. Then Gretel gave her a push, period. Period. Ma'am, you over here eating people, children of everything. Like, no, go away. Literally. So that she went in further and shut the iron door upon her and put up the bar. Oh, how frightfully she howled. But Gretel ran away, excuse me, and left the wicked witch to burn miserably, period. Girl, absolutely not. Gretel went straight to Hansel, opened the stable door, and cried, Hansel, we are free. The old witch is unalived. I had to push her in the oven. She was trying to push me in, but I said, oh no, girl, reverse uno, and reverse uno. Then out flew Hansel like a bird from his cage as soon as the door is open. How rejoiced they both were. How they fell each on the other's neck and danced about and kissed each other. And as they had nothing more to fear, they went all over the old witch's house, and in every corner there stood a chest of pearls and precious stones, period. They hit the lottery.
All right.
They Gucci, honey. They Gucci. This is something better than Flintstones. No, I promise it's where is it? Not like it says Flintstones. Not like the Flintstones, but like the Flintstones. Said Hansel as he filled his pockets, and Gretel, thinking she also would like to carry something home with her, filled her apron full. Now away we go, said Hansel. If only we could get out of the witch's woods. When they had journeyed a few hours, they came to a great piece of water. We could never get across this, said Hansel. I see no stepping stones or bridges. And there is no boat either, said Gretel. But here comes a white duck. If I ask her, she will help us. Okay, wait, this then turned into something else. Like, girl, what? Okay, we gonna skip the little duck part because, girl, what is this about?
I don't know. You think I know?
So, Scott, you want to hear about her taking a duck across the water?
Well, it's part of the story.
Oh my God. Scott is one of those rule followers I will skip over, but clearly we can't do it because Scott's here. It comes with a song. Scott loves a musical. If I ask her, she will help us over. So she cried, duck, duck, here we stand. Hansel and Gretel on the land. Oh, she a rapper.
Hey, you would have missed that.
Stepping stones and bridges we lack. Carry us over on your nice white back. Period. Yay. She's like a cheerleader. Oh, you better go off. You better go off, Gretel girl. Yeah, she a cheerleader. And the duck came accordingly. And Hansel got upon her and told his sister to come too. She the one who called him over. Why you gotta tell her? She know. No, answered Gretel. That would be hard upon the duck. We can go separately after one another. Did you really need to know that, Scott, for the story?
What?
Whatever. And this was how it was managed. And after that, they went on happily until they came to the woods, and the way grew more and more familiar, till at last they saw in the distance their father's house. I wouldn't have went there. They keep abandoning y'all in the woods. Why would you go back? But let's see what happens here. It is a fairy tale. Then they ran till they came up to it, rushed in at the door, and fell on their father's neck. Did y'all even knock? The man had not had a quiet hour since he left his children in the woods, but his wife was unalived. How she end up? Okay. And when Gretel opened her apron, the precious stone and pearls were scattered all over the room, and Hansel took one handful after another out of his pocket. Then was all care at an end, and they lived in great joy together. Do I have to sing the song at the end? There's a song at the end.
Yeah. That's what everybody's waiting for.
This is why I don't do things with Scott, because Scott wants to follow it all the way through. Sing, everyone, my story is done. And look, around the house, there runs a little mouse that he can catch her before she scampers in. May make himself a very, very large fur cap out of her skin.
All right.
That did nothing for nobody. I don't even know why they added that. That made no sense.
Oh.
Okay, well, nonetheless, they should have just put it this instead, and they lived happily ever after, period. Because them kids came up with the money.
Yeah.
What, Scott?
I don't know. They lived happily ever after.
How would they not? They got money now. Money was the answer. And the stepmama gone.
Money's the answer to keep your dad from abandoning you.
Yes. Yes, that is always the answer, period.
Okay. So I'm sure that's the only bad thing that he'll do to the kids.
Scott, look, it don't say any more than that in this book. So what did you learn? Because we're not about to go into a deep dive of what they didn't put in this book. This is why we don't invite him.
Well, I learned that story is a lot more disturbing than I remember.
Indeed, it kind of there's a lot of child neglect. When you a kid, I guess you don't realize that these adults are neglecting they children. But as a parent, you're just like, oh man, oh.
Like, was that like a thing? Like way back whenever this was written, like for families poor and they can't feed everybody, they're just gonna go abandon their kids in the woods.
They were doing it to Nebraska. They were dropping them kids off in Nebraska before they changed them laws. So I mean, I don't know. And that was modern day. People was going from California, like, we just dropping these kids off. And them kids were like 15 and 17. And we're like, we know our address. we know you. So we're going to just tell the police that you dropped us off. So they were doing it in like 2010. And this back then, they didn't have police or anything. Everybody it was just every man for himself. So I'm gonna say yes. The witch seemed to know. Okay, so what's the lesson learned, Scott? Besides that,
yeah, I don't know. If you lived back then, don't trust your parents.
Okay, the lesson learned I got, from Scott. Period, Scott. The lesson I got from this is this. If it's too good to be true, be leery of it. Look at how that witch was setting up. She was waiting for desperate children to come around so she could lure them into her home. She knew they were desperate. She knew they were hungry. She knew. She used that to lure them children in her home so she could take advantage of them, aka eat them up like Jeffrey Dahmer. Be careful. Do not do things in scarcity. Be careful of people offering just for free generosity, because sometimes it's a trap. That's how them people be getting sucked into cults. Period. So anyway, did you have any last things, Scott?
No, can't wait to find out what the next story is.
So it could ruin your childhood?
Sure.
Okay, well, from wherever we are to wherever you are, peace, love, happiness. I hope you enjoyed the the show tonight. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and we will see you guys later. Thanks for stopping by.